Oh no. Oh. Hello and welcome to Adventures in Femininity. So what is your nest? Let's talk about that first. So your nest is your space. The space in which you have control over. So maybe that's a house. Maybe that's a one-bedroom apartment. Or maybe you have roommates at college, so it's like your room. Or your room at your parents' house if you're younger and watching this. Whatever it may be, your space in which you have control over is your nest, okay? So what is nesting? So to me, nesting is taking your space and making it warm, inviting, and comfortable. Now that can mean various different things for different people depending on your likes and interests and even your personality and your energy. Maybe you like to surround yourself in a lot of warm colors because that's what you feel most comfortable in. Or maybe you like cooler tones like grays and softer blues and rosy pinks like me. Or maybe you're like a black and white person and you like something a little bit more contemporary. Whatever it is, find what you feel is warm and inviting and comfortable. It might not suit everybody. Heck, not everybody that comes into my home might think it's comfortable and inviting. But I can't control what everybody thinks and feels, so I'm just going to make it what myself and my family are comfortable in. Nesting is to nurture and maintain your space. So I think there's several benefits to nesting. I do really believe that nesting is a very feminine attribute. Nurturing is a very feminine trait. Nesting can affect our emotional health. I truly believe this, and if you have been aware of it, then you'll understand. If you're living in a cluttered, dirty environment, your emotional health, your thoughts, just the way you feel when you're inside your home is going to feel cluttered. Clutter on the outside is going to create clutter on the inside. I just feel like that's basically fact in my brain. Maybe it's not for everybody, but for me, it is. It's going to affect your productivity. So if you're in a very cluttered home or your kitchen's really dirty, you're not going to feel motivated to be productive. You're not going to want to cook that meal that you've been planning on because your kitchen is a wreck and there's no space to cook. Believe me, I have been there. Maybe your room is super cluttered and you have clothes all over the floor, and maybe you haven't taken out your trash for a few days, or your bed isn't made. Whatever it may be, nurturing your nest is going to increase productivity, guaranteed. I think that nesting lessens anxiety. So I struggle with a lot of anxiety, and I've noticed that when my home is more organized and clean and it's tidied, not 100 things are out of place, and the table's not a mess and the kitchen's not a wreck, my anxiety is much more manageable. But if I've allowed our home to get out of control, then my anxiety gets a lot higher because I feel almost trapped, and there's so much stimulation going on because there's so much movement throughout the rooms. And what I mean by that is that there's so much stuff just laid all around. It's creating this high movement, and for some people, myself included, that high movement is so, it just like breaks you down. It's hard to cope with. It's hard to feel motivated. It's hard to feel like you're in control, because whether you like it or not, we all need to be in control to some degree in our life. And as a homemaker, you want to be in control of your home. Keeping a clean and tidy nest will lessen your anxiety, help your emotional health, and just create a more productive atmosphere. I also believe that it not only increases productivity, but going along with that, if you're creative and you like to create in your environment, this will also help increase your creative juices. Okay, decorating your nest. So some people aren't as talented as others in decorating, and that's totally fine. You can look up how to decorate in all sorts of ways. I mean, go to a library and find an interior design book. Look on YouTube, find blogs, look on Instagram. Don't look on Instagram because it's like picture perfect all the time. Okay, if you want to go to Instagram, that's totally up to you. But I also advise to be careful with how much you're consuming, like media-wise, when you're researching how to design, if you choose to do so. Just because not everybody's idea of interior design is going to coincide with your lifestyle, with your personality, your energy, whatever term you want to use. It may not coincide with what you really like. And so if you really want to know what you like, just maybe look up some basic interior design tips and then use those as a basis, and then go to maybe a home decor store or even a thrift store and look in their home decor section and just really take a good look. What pops out to you? What speaks to you? What do you think looks inviting and warm and comfortable? First of all, keeping it clean and tidy is going to help decorating, and it's going to make you want to keep it decorated. Because let's face it, if it were cluttered, you wouldn't even know what decorations you have, right? So does that mean keeping it like spotless all the time? No, of course not. Especially if you have children, your house is never going to be spotless all the time. It's going to look lived in, which is totally fine because your family's making memories, and that's awesome. If you have children, just have them learn to take care of their own space. Help them to learn some nesting skills, how to clean and how to make sure that their space will allow for creativity and play and happiness. I personally really like to be thrifty and frugal when it comes to everything. Not just decorating and nesting our home, but everything. But when it comes to nesting, I really encourage you to be thrifty, be frugal. If you have a decoration that you still really like, but maybe it just needs updated somehow, repurpose it or repaint it, whatever it might be. Like, I have a couple of vases. They're like this green chartreuse color, and I plan on repainting them to make them like a softer blue to kind of go with what I really want. And that will be cheap, you know, to buy a can of spray paint and paint those too. Being thrifty also means learning to clean and maintain and mend what you already have so that it can last longer. You don't need to replace something at the first sign of wear and tear. Just clean it up, maybe mend it if it needs it. Which you can learn all sorts of ways to do this online. YouTube, blogs. It's amazing. So not everything needs to be new, right? Not everything. Your house does not need to look like Instagram posh, all right? Because I don't know. I'm not really into that. I would prefer to thrift things and, you know, take my time to really find things that we're going to really love for several years and make it our own. You don't need to be trendy. Trendy doesn't seem very warm and comforting to me anyway. Maybe it does to you, and that's fine. You do you. I'm not telling you how to live your life. These are just some ideas of mine. And I have been married almost 10 years. And I've been a homemaker, like a full-time homemaker, for like over 9 years now. So I've had a lot of practice. So the last thing is learn to be content. So if, like we talked about, if you learn to nurture and maintain what you have, you will learn to be so much more content with what you already have. You won't feel the need to go out and purchase something different or new because you've been able to nurture what you have, giving you that feeling of self-purpose, fulfillment, and gratitude. Gratitude is key. Nurturing and maintaining your nest shows gratitude for what you have and what you have been given. I hope this video was helpful on nesting. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment. I'd love to chat about it. Oh no. Oh. My thing holding up my phone fell down. So yes, just show gratitude for what you have. Nurture it. And keep adventuring.